Dear devotees, we were talking about sadhana, we were talking about seva. We were singing about seva. Nita seva mangu. We ask God to engage us in his eternal seva, in his eternal service. When we talk about serving others in the world, we think that it's beneath us to serve someone. Everyone in the world wants to be the master. No one wants to be the servant. Because the word servant in itself seems implicates or it indicates to us that someone is low. However, God is the best servant. And they who have attained God, the God-realized souls, we call them Sant, Mahatma, Mahapurush, Guru. Gurus are the best servants. It is a matter of great fortune for us that we become servants of God and Guru. Let's think about who God is. About God, it is said, Yasmat param na paramasti kinchit, yasman naniyo na jayosti kaschit. There is no one greater than God. Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. Lord Krishna says in the Gita, O Dhananjaya, O Arjun, there is no one greater than myself. Who can be greater than God? He is the greatest. We hear about Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar, the three governors of the universe, and there are countless universes. Brahma creates, Vishnu protects, Shankar destroys. And there are countless Brahmas, Vishnus, and Shankars. But then there is one Mahavishnu, who is the Lord of countless Brahmas, Vishnus, and Shankars. And the Bhagavad Puran says that even Mahavishnu is a partial manifestation of Sri Krishna. He's a partial manifestation. Even Mahavishnu is subservient to Sri Krishna. And that Sri Krishna, he is the most excellent servant. He's picking up the leaves from which the Brahmins have eaten. Namrita ki seema dekho, Govind Radhe, pattal utha ke jhoothe, sham shiksha de. Jagat Guru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj says in his Radha Govind Geet that Shri Krishna, the Supreme Lord, has given us such wonderful instruction by picking up the leaves, the dirty leaves from which the Brahmins have eaten. The great ceremony, the great yajna of the Pandavas was going on, and there were hundreds of thousands of people invited. There were so many Brahmins who were fed, and Lord Krishna said, I shall pick up after the Brahmins have finished eating. The Pandavas, the five brothers, Yudhishthir, Arjun, Bhim, Nakul, and Sahdev, they protested, but you are our Lord. How can we allow you to perform such menial service? Shri Krishna said, well, I shall attend your yajna, and I shall accept the honor you're giving me, only on one condition. So reluctantly, the Pandavas had to agree. Imagine you are eating, and you have your dirty plate, you have finished eating, and your Lord comes and picks it up and goes and washes it. This is what Lord Krishna did. He is teaching us that no service is too small. In fact, Neech tahal bali jaye, the lower the service, the greater it is. Jagat Guru Shri Kripaluji Maharaj often used to say to us, clean the gutters of Mangar, clean the gutters of the ashram. Don't think, oh, there is so much filth in there, because there is much more filth inside of you. Clean the gutters, he would say, because the lower the service, the higher it is. We don't become small because of doing menial service. We gain so much grace. We become the recipients of God's grace when we serve God and Guru. And God teaches us through his practical example. Do we not hear that Shri Krishna was the chariot driver for Arjun? Shri Krishna was driving the chariot, and Arjun is sitting and giving instructions to Shri Krishna. He would tell Lord Krishna to slow the horses down, or to make them speed up, or to feed them, to give them water, to give them medication, to to tend to their wounds. And Shri Krishna is not saying, Arjun, why are you instructing me like this? Why are you bossing me around? No. Arjun is giving instructions, and the Supreme Lord Krishna is taking the instructions and doing as he's told to do. What a wonderful example God presents before us. There are so many different examples of the Lord serving his devotees. He becomes a guard in someone's palace because he was a great devotee of his, because this devotee, the king, was a great devotee of Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna became the guard in the palace. There was a devotee who did not have enough money to get his daughter married, and Lord Krishna provided that money. He became the sahukar, he became the lender, and he provided the money. He provides for his devotees. Once there was a devotee who was a scholar, and when he was reading the Gita, he had a little bit of doubt when Lord Krishna says in the Gita, the one who is completely surrendered to me, to him I give my full protection. I give him what he's lacking, and I protect what he already has in his possession. Ananyash chintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. The scholar thought, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he would come himself to help a devotee. I don't believe that. There's a mistake. And he crossed out the word vahamyaham. He replaced it with dadamyaham, which implies now that Lord Krishna arranges for this protection to be given. Lord Krishna arranges for whatever is lacking to be given to the devotee. And Lord Krishna smiled to himself, thinking, what a fool this is. He thinks that I have made a mistake in the Gita. So when the scholar had made this so-called correction in the Gita, after that it was time for him to go to the holy waters of the Ganga, and he took his ritualistic bath, he took a dip in the Ganges, and then he was thinking at the same time, what are we going to eat today? He and his wife, he was thinking about both of them, what are we going to eat today? Because there's nothing at home. At home, his wife was thinking, what am I going to cook? There is nothing. Nothing. Just as she was thinking this, a little boy came to the door, and he had a huge sack. It seemed like a very heavy sack, balancing on his head. The scholar's wife relieved him of the burden, and she asked him, son, who are you, and what have you brought over here? The little boy said, Mother, I am a student of your husband, and he has sent something. I don't know what he has sent. Then the scholar's wife saw that there were many marks on this little boy's face, as if someone had beaten him up. His face was bruised. So she asked with compassion, son, who did this to you? And he said, Mother, your husband did this to me. When she heard that her husband had done this, she was beside herself with rage. She was so angry at her husband, and she was surprised because he was a very gentle sort of individual. Why would he beat up on this little boy? She was thinking such thoughts, then the boy disappeared. The scholar's wife then opened the sack, and she found fruits and vegetables and grains. There was enough groceries to last them for at least a week. So she cooked the food and she got it ready. But when her husband came home, she quarreled with him. She asked him, why did you beat up that little boy? And he asked, which little boy? The one with whom you sent all this. He said, I didn't send anyone. She started thinking that he had lost his mind, and he started to think she had lost her mind. But then, with Sri Krishna's grace, when the scholar was not figuring this out, then with Lord Krishna's grace, he came to understand that the little boy was none other than the Lord himself. Because they had nothing to eat at home, Lord Krishna himself had brought the groceries. He had brought fruits and vegetables and flour and rice. He himself had come for the devotee. And then the scholar started to cry, begging to be forgiven. It is true that my Lord comes himself, and he gives what the devotee is lacking, and he protects what the devotee already has in his possession. So the Supreme Lord finds various ways in which to serve his devotees. Does he serve only his devotees? Oh no. He serves even the atheist, the one who takes pride in saying there's no such thing as God. Even that atheist is served by God. Even the agnostic who's not sure, even he is served by God. God serves everyone without discrimination. He gives us air, he gives water, he gives this whole world for us to use. And just think about it, if there was no air, if there was no water, if there was no sunshine, we would not be able to remain alive. We would die instantly. God serves us in more ways than we can ever imagine. He is a servant, and he prides himself on being a servant. He says, in the scriptures, he declares it. Now, you'd think that if you're a servant, you might be ashamed of it. He says, no, proudly, he says, aham bhakta paradhinaha. I am a servant of my devotees. I am under the control of those who are devoted to me. Aham bhakta paradhino hyaswatantra ibadvij sadhu bhirgrasta hridayo bhaktair bhakta janapriya. Canto 9, chapter 4, verse 63 of the Bhagavad. Lord Krishna is saying to Durvasa, O Durvasa, I am a servant of my servants. This is why we should also embrace the concept of service, selfless service. And saints, the ones who are sent by God to this world, they don't ever tire of serving us. They serve us in the greatest way possible. All the children will pay attention. No fiddling with books, please. All eyes on me. Straight back. Thank you. The greatest service that saints provide for us is to give us knowledge. The knowledge that we could not otherwise have received. Oh yes, you can read the scriptures, you can read the Vedas, you can read the Purans, you can read the Bhagavad Gita or even the Ramayana, but you cannot understand anything. We may say, well, I'm not illiterate, I know how to read, and I even know Sanskrit. Yes, you may be a Sanskrit scholar, but the scriptures say still you can't understand us. Why? Because the scriptures are divine, they have divine words, the meaning of these words seems to be obvious, but it's completely the opposite, or it's completely something altogether different. With our material mind and intellect, we cannot understand the knowledge contained in the scriptures. The scriptures themselves say for this reason, do not read us by yourself because you will surely misinterpret the message. When we read a scripture, we take from it what is convenient for us. When a man and his wife, they were both reading the Ramayana, and they had finished reading the Ramayana, and the man said to his wife, dear, I have read the Ramayana, and I have understood I have extracted a great lesson from the Ramayana. She asked, what is it? What have you understood? He says, I have understood that you, as my wife, you should be like Sita. He hasn't understood that he should be like Ram. He said, you should be like Sita. She says, that's funny. I read the same Ramayana and I have understood one thing also, which is that you, dear husband, you should be like Ram. She hasn't understood that she should be like Sita. Now, he may be more like Ravan himself, but he expects that wife should be like Sita. And she may be like Putana herself, but she says, you should be like Ram. Each one has extracted the message which is convenient to them. He hasn't understood how he should change. She hasn't understood how she should change. We read scriptures and we say to one another, you know what, the Ramayana says that you should be like this. And the Guru says that you should be like this, and you're not really like that. The Guru says you should do devotion and you should do seva, but I have observed that you don't do any devotion, you don't do any seva. Then this individual should be asked, did you not understand from your Guru that you should not criticize anyone? No, I didn't understand that. Because we take what is convenient for us. So when we read the scriptures, we will understand only what we want to understand. We will not understand the real message. So saints come to this world and they serve us by giving us real knowledge, true knowledge, without hiding anything from us. They don't tell us what we are going to like. They tell us what is in the scriptures. The greatest knowledge of the scriptures becomes very difficult, extremely difficult for us to understand. But when the Guru comes along, he tells us that knowledge, gives us that knowledge in a way that we find it easy to understand. That's not our intelligence that is making us understand. It is the Guru's grace. It is the Guru's divine intelligence that he's able to translate something so difficult into something so easy. And then we absorb it very easily. We understand it easily. So saints come to this world and they serve us. They never tire of serving us, even though they may be physically suffering themselves. But they put aside everything else. They do not care about their own body as much as they care about serving us. And they provide us with an amazing example of how a servant should be. Do they expect any thanks from us? What thanks do we give to such saints? We nail them to the cross. Thank you very much. We are nailing you to the cross. We gave them poison. Here you go. Die. Drink this and die. This is our gratitude for helping us. We put them in jail. You go and rot behind bars. This is the thanks we're giving you. We malign them. We call them filthy names. That's how we thank them. But these saints, they do not become dissuaded. Do they say, look, we don't want to come to this world anymore. I'm done with this world. Done. I'm finished. I wash my hands of all of you. No. They are such selfless servants that they keep on coming. They keep on coming to this world. And we praise them only after they're gone. I read a book once, and in it there was a very strange sentence. I thought, that's very strange. But when I thought about it, I thought, that is true. In the book, the author had said, the only good saint is a dead one. The one who has left us. Then we realize after maybe 100 years or so, oh, he was very merciful. Oh my goodness. It's Mirabai, we called her all sorts of names, but she was really great. We recognize their greatness after they're gone. But these saints don't mind that they are maligned and they are misunderstood. They serve us. They come here to teach us countless lessons. One of those lessons is that we should also serve without an agenda. We should serve God and Guru selflessly. When we do something, we want to have others appreciate us. I did this. You know what? I fed all the people in the temple today. It was me. We get this pride. Well, I have served. I have served God. I have served Guru. There is a desire within us that the desire to be known that I did the service. I served. We want some sort of a pat on the back. We want some sort of recognition. We just want something. But God and Guru do not desire anything. They don't desire any praise. They don't desire any recognition. Nothing. They just serve selflessly. And think about it. Without a Guru, we cannot learn even ABC. Without a teacher, we cannot learn anything. We cannot even learn who our mother is, who our father is, without the teacher. A mother tries in so many ways to get her child to understand that she is his mother. She's clapping her hands, she's making funny sounds, she's making funny faces, she's looking at the child, trying to get the child to look at her, and the child is looking in another direction. The child doesn't know who the mother is. But after a lot of efforts, then the child understands that oh, this woman, she's my mother. And then the child grows up, and there is nothing that he can understand by himself. He does not learn Ka, Kha, Ga, or ABC by himself. He learns even the alphabet through a teacher. The teacher may be in the form of an older sibling, or a parent, or another relative, or Sesame Street, or some show like that. There is a teacher who is needed to teach us even the most basic worldly knowledge. Then how can we think, how can we dare to think that the knowledge of God, which is intangible kind of knowledge, because we don't see God, in the world it's direct knowledge, and even direct knowledge cannot be received without a teacher, without a guru. Then how can we dare to think that indirect knowledge and intangible concepts related to God can be understood by this faulty mind of ours, by this worldly mind, filled with worldly thoughts, without the help of a guru? It is the Guru who takes us by the hand and very patiently teaches us who we are, what our relationship with God is, and what our relationship with the world should be, how it should be. The Guru very patiently teaches us how we should control the mind, how we should think about God. He answers all these questions and so many more. So many questions are in the mind. There are cobwebs of doubts in the mind. And it is the Guru who very patiently removes those cobwebs. We ask the same questions again and again. Guruji, my mind doesn't take interest in God. What should I do? And the Guru has heard the question thousands of times and dozens of times from the same person. But he doesn't say, you fool, I explained this to you 2 hours, just a couple of hours ago, and yet you're asking me this again. Didn't you hear the lecture? Guruji, I forgot. Forgot? 2 hours ago? You forgot? No. He's patient. Okay. Let me explain it to you again. The Guru serves us. Even by making us serve him and inspiring us to serve him and God, he is serving us by teaching us. And he serves God by example. He teaches us. And then the Guru teaches his disciples, and he teaches the whole world. Whoever wants to listen to him, look, you need to serve. Because this is what Lord Krishna says in the Gita. You need to serve the Guru. Tad vidhi pranipaten pariprashnena sevaya. Serve the Guru. Ask him questions to remove your doubts. Yes, surrender to him fully. Don't doubt him. Now that he's proven to you that he is a Guru, don't doubt him anymore. And serve him. Serve him physically, serve him mentally, serve him financially, serve him in every way possible. Why should I serve? Does the Guru need me to do physical service? Does he need my money? Does he need financial service? No. He doesn't need anything. Then you need to serve him. You need to reduce your worldly attachments. You see, the very reason we don't surrender to the Guru, the very reason we don't learn as much as we could from the Guru is, there are two reasons actually. One is pride. One is attachment. Pride and attachment are two reasons why we do not learn from the Guru. First of all, pride. Oh, I know everything. I don't need to learn anything. Oh, I've heard these lectures again and again. I don't need to learn anything more. I know it all. I know it. I could give a lecture myself. I could do better than you. Shri Maharaj used to say, sometimes people would say, Maharaji, your lecture was excellent. He would say, are you marking me? Are you grading me? Are you able to understand? Are you my examiner? You're giving me marks on my lecture? Oh, it was a great lecture. So anytime Shri Maharaji looked in my direction and said, how was the lecture? I was afraid to say. You have to choose the right words. You cannot say it was a great lecture. Who am I to judge? This lecture was so beneficial to me. I learned a lot from this lecture. That would be the right thing to say. So it's our pride that stops us from learning. The pride, our mind cannot accept that someone knows more than us. Adi Shankaracharya was only 32 years of age when he left this world, and he was accepted before that time, much younger age. He was accepted as the Jagat Guru, first Jagat Guru, Adi Shankaracharya. He was so much younger than those who were surrendering to him. We must not look at the age of the one who is teaching us. We must not look at the gender of the person teaching us. We must not look at anything. The caste, Brahman, not going to learn from you. We must not look at anything external. We must look at what is inside. So the reason we don't learn is because of our pride. I'm older than you. I am more learned than you. I've heard the same thing again and again. I know everything already. I already know the Ramayana. I know the Gita. And I have interpreted it like this. And you are saying this. So our pride becomes an impediment. Secondly, our attachment to the world. We are very attached to the world, more than we think. Shri Maharaji gives an example of a doctor who was in Agra. Maharaji was in Agra, the city of Taj Mahal. He was there. He had spent a lot of time in his life was spent in Agra. And there was a doctor who was very fond of Maharaji. He used to listen to Shri Maharaji's lectures. He admired Maharaji greatly, and he was very affectionate towards Maharaji, loved Maharaji. So one day the doctor said, Maharaji, you need to lose some weight. Maharaji had gained 4 kilos, about 9 pounds. And Shri Maharaji said, all right, I shall lose the weight. And so according to nutritional science, Maharaji had to lose 4 kilos. And Maharaji did it within a week. It was done. So after a week, Shri Maharaji called the doctor and said, well, I've lost the weight. And the doctor said, what, already? In a week's time, you've lost 4 kilos, about 9 pounds? Shri Maharaj said, yes, I've lost it. Then Shri Maharaj said, but doctor, you are grossly overweight. So you have asked me, you've told me to lose weight, but what about you? And the doctor stuck out his tongue and he said, Maharaj, it's because of this. The taste buds, they want to be satisfied. So I eat a lot because my tongue desires taste. In the same way, we are attached to this world. We have many attachments. We want to see the world. We want to hear the world, taste, touch, and smell the world. 2 hours of a worldly activity delights us. 2 hours of satsang become torment for us. Right? Torment. Sometimes I see people looking at this, stealing a glance at the watch, wristwatch. What time is it? When will 12 o'clock come? Why does this happen? Why does our mind not complain when we see a formula Bollywood movie? As far as I know, they're still 3 hours long. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then after watching it, we say, same old plot, same old, nothing new under the sun. Oh, but when you were watching, your eyes were glued to the screen. But it was still interesting. I've watched it 3 times already. What? 3 times already? Yeah, it's still interesting. And that lecture, I'm tired because, I didn't get enough sleep last night. And you know what, I have exams coming up. I don't have time. And because of this, we have a long list of excuses ready in our pocket. So whenever we need it, we take one out, whip one out and say, this is the reason. This is the reason why I am not able to attend. This is the reason why I'm not able to listen. This is the reason why I was falling asleep. Ready-made reasons. So we are attached to the material world. Saints come and they do their best. They put everything aside. They put their own health aside. Their time is for us. I have observed my Guru for so many years. I've observed him, and he used to spend hours and hours with us. It was amazing how many hours he spent with the devotees. And once doctors examined him, they talked about it and they said, it is impossible for a human to spend so many hours talking day after day, day after day, day after day, serving so many people, talking to so many people, giving so many lectures. It's impossible. No human can do it. But physically, through the medical science, they could not find out what was so special about him because the spiritual power cannot be measured by material instruments. What I mean to point out over here is that these saints come to this world and they do nothing but serve us in so many ways. And to them, no service is menial service. No service is below them. Sri Maharaj Ji visited the West in 2005 and 2007. And I remember when Sri Maharaj Ji went to Trinidad, West Indies, that's also a place where I preach. Sri Maharaj Ji stayed for a long time over there. And once when he went to visit a devotee, she said that Maharaj Ji asked, where's your son? And she said, oh, he's not feeling well. He's gone to a relative's place. And Sri Maharaj Ji, he was so great, Jagat Guru, 5th original Jagat Guru. And with such simplicity, he said, oh, well, I shall go and visit him. And she was so embarrassed because the boy was not all that sick. She said, no, Maharaj Ji, he'll come over here to see you. But Maharaj Ji had no problem. He said, well, I shall go and see him. I shall visit him. He's not well. He was so simple. He went to the neighbor's house and someone said, Maharaj Ji, this is my neighbor and he has helped me tremendously. He has helped us tremendously in preparing for your visit. And one day Sri Maharaj Ji said to me, what do you say? Shall we visit the neighbor? And we went and knocked at the door of the neighbor and he opened the door and he was amazed. He was not of Hindu faith. And later on he said, I'm not a Hindu, but the vibrations I got from the saint, they tell me that he is a very, very elevated soul. Just with so much simplicity, utter simplicity, Maharaj Ji said, you have helped my children so much, and I thought I shall pay you a visit. And Sri Maharaj Ji didn't care that he belonged to another faith, and so many people have problems with that. Are you of this faith? I'm not going to eat from your hands, and which caste do you belong to? There was nothing of the sort about him. He would just accept love, that's all. And he was so simple. So these saints are so simple-hearted and they serve us all the time, 24 hours a day. We may serve God and Guru for maybe an hour a day or an hour a week, that's it. Because we are busy people, we don't have time. We serve him an hour a week or so, and fine, that's good. But God and Guru serve us 24 hours a day. We have to keep that in mind. They teach us to serve selflessly. When we serve, we should get rid of, if there is a desire. I accept that many of you serve so selflessly. There is no question of you desiring any recognition. But even if there is a slightest little desire for recognition, wash it away. Just take it away. Take it out. Take it out of your mind. Take it out from your heart. Just serve selflessly. The service will not make you small. It will make you great. And it will give you the grace of God and Guru. God and Guru give us very real experiences. You will not get paid with money, and we should not desire any wealth back for our service. We should not desire that God and Guru will give us something. I'm serving, so I should get something in return. We should not ask for any monetary gain. We should not ask for any benefit, any such benefit. The fact is that we receive the most wonderful benefit. Our love for God increases. We become more devoted to God. Our heart becomes softer. We become more compassionate. We become more gentle. We become kinder. We become more understanding. We start understanding the knowledge. Even that happens. The same concept you've heard over and over again, suddenly it becomes easy to understand. There's like a flash. Oh, I understand this. How did you understand it? Because God and Guru graced you, and suddenly you understand. You started understanding. Because you started serving. You became, because now you're becoming a selfless servant. So now God and Guru are just pouring their grace. You have experienced it. I know you have. Many of you have. And if you say you haven't, even though you're doing the selfless service, then I would say, please examine your daily experience. And you will realize that you are gaining amazing benefits. We don't have to tell God, hey, look, I'm serving you. I need some benefit. I need spiritual benefit. We don't have to tell our Guru, Guruji, please give me some benefit. No, they will give the benefit themselves. Granted that our desire to serve is a selfless desire. It is my privilege to serve. That is the feeling we should have. Not like, you know what, I was doing this seva and so said this to me, so you know what, I am not doing the seva again. And see how you get along without me. It's like, main maike chali jaungi. I shall not come to Yugal Kunj anymore because so-and-so said this to me. I will not serve in the temple anymore. And I'll see how you get along without me. God and Guru are the only ones who are indispensable. And everyone, you and I, we are all indispensable. Every temple will go on without anyone's help. Every ashram will go on because God, as long as God and Guru are being worshipped, they will keep their temples running. They do their work themselves. We are mere instruments, but we should be grateful instruments. We should not have any prideful, I should say, attitude that, this cannot run without me. This work will stop without me. This is a wrong attitude in seva. And to mind someone's words, to mind someone's behavior, and saying everything should be perfect, it should be to my liking, that is the only time when I will do seva. That is not a right way of doing seva. To serve means to serve selflessly. To accept that I am blessed to have this opportunity to serve. We should not ask for recognition. We should not ask for perfect conditions. We should not demand anything, just like God and Guru don't demand anything. Imagine God is living inside our polluted mind and serving us continually. Does God say, look, you know what, you need to cleanse your heart. You need to purify your mind. I'm not going to stay in this filth. He remains within us. He lives in our heart, and our mind is so polluted. We are always thinking about the world, hardly ever thinking pure thoughts, hardly ever thinking about devotional thoughts. We know that. But God still lives in our heart. The Guru is so patient with us. The Guru knows when someone is thinking against him, and yet the fellow, we will bow down to the Guru. We will even drink the water that has washed his lotus feet. We say, I take his charanamrit. We will do his arti, Jayati Jagat Guru. But we will find faults with him too. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have said that. It was wrong. In other words, I know more than him. We are capable of thinking such thoughts. But the Guru, even though we are sitting before him, even though we are thinking against him, he forgives. He laughs it off. Oh, he's just a child. He's immature right now. One day he'll become mature and he'll understand why I did what I did, why I said what I said. We should learn the lesson of selfless service from God and Guru. Because selfless service rewards us in so many ways. What we want in life, we will get by serving God and Guru selflessly. We want happiness that will never go away. We want knowledge. We want God. All these benefits can be attained by serving God and Guru unconditionally, just like they serve us. बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. बोलिए श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय. जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे.